The golden age of humanity among the star lanes is over, and I am all that's left. I have awoken from a deep sleep, perhaps 100 millennia long, only to find the stars bathed in a pale, haunting cyan light. All my comms are silent. Every colony, star station, and planet I pass is desolate and empty. My sensors pick up a strange background radiation they cannot parse. Something new. I am the last survivor of my species. I have my ship, my gear, and a heavy burden. My mission is to explore this sterile frontier, uncover why humanity is gone, and find the secret of this Cyanstarlight. Maybe there's a colony ship out there, or a gene factory to be reactivated. There must be something. It can't end like this. Okay, everybody, we are back, and we are playing Cyanstarlight by Alan Barr. And I'm playing half digitally, half physically, so I have the book, and I have the character sheet and the ship sheet and all that for tracking and locations that I'm going to. But this game is Cyanstarlight. It is a game that it says it's about loneliness, big ideas, and small people. It explores the feeling of being an outsider in a vast and different space where your only companions are the echoes of a dead civilization. Now, if you do play this game, the author does give a content warning about how this game deals with loneliness, abandonment, emotional and physical trauma, and in one specific instance, potential suicide. So protect your mental health. Please be kind to yourself, as the book says. And only play if you're ready to, you know? I don't remember where I found this game. I just know that I like sci-fi and I like solo RPGs. And you know what? I do like Alan Barr. I believe he is the author of the, not Easy D6, Tiny D6 games. But there's other stuff that he has written that I like. I was reading another one of his games last night. I really like his design thinking, just in general. So I thought, why not? This game could be fun, where we are playing the last survivor of humanity. And the overall goal, it seems, is to survive, find insights from humanity's past to solve the mystery of what happened to our kind. And it uses the Breathless system by Fari RPG, which I really like those mechanics as well. The dice going down, so the die attributes or everything decreases in size, so D10 to a D8. You know, I like that mechanic. So it kind of represents like mounting stress, mounting exhaustion, you know, the wearing down of your gear. I really like that type of gameplay. And so that is where we are going to start. We are the last human. Okay, we carry a heavy burden and we will need to be quick-witted, courageous, and clever to approach the new problems we face. And so the starship needs to be kept running. Your past training and background will help you overcome these problems, but you have to learn new skills as you move forward. And there are 6 attributes. We have bash, dash, shoot, sneak, sway, and think. Okay, now what was our training? Your branch of service determines what your attributes are, as well as your starting your starting equipment. And so we'll pick one of the following packages. It grants 1 piece of gear as well. So we could be, our past could have been in security, could have been in engineering, science, command, explorer, scout, and then there's freeform character creation. I'm just gonna take one of the packages. You know, I want to learn the game a little bit first before I kind of do the freeform stuff and all that. So who were we? I believe, let's see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna roll a d6 and go random. That is a 2. So my background was in engineering. Okay, so let's see. Okay, bash is a d10, dash is a d6, shoot is a d4. Okay, I'm not a big shooter. Sneak is a d6, sway is a d6, and think is a d8. My gear, I got a repair kit, I got a repair kit at D10. Now there is a table for names as well. Did I pass it? I think I did. Okay, we have the table for names. It's 2d8, so that's I'm gonna roll 2d8 and see what their name is. Okay, we have an 8 and a 6. 8, Shiloh Damaritz. Okay, my character's name is Shiloh. Okay, so now I'm going to roll for work history. Work history, and that will give us a little, I think another piece of gear. We'll see. Because there's like an event, and I could roll a 4 or 5, and that would mean nothing I can remember. But let's see. I'm going to roll a d8, d8, and then we will see. Okay, that's a 7. Scars. Start with 1 despair box checked. Oh, wow. I don't know what that means yet, but despair doesn't sound good. 1 despair. I mean, there's 12. Okay. 1 despair box is already checked. I got some scars, y'all. Oh, I said the last name wrong. Shiloh Daramitz. Daramitz. Interesting. So next is the ship. Your ship ferries you from world to world as you look for answers. It is our lifeline, your sole respite, and the last significant asset you have to your name. You should treat it well and with respect. Give it a name that has significance and journal why. Your ship is represented by 6 attributes, just as your character is. Okay, so let's go to the ship sheet. Okay, now, let's see. I'm going to pick a ship frame. Can you also, I wonder if you can, freeform ship creation. Yeah, but I'm gonna pick a frame, because why not? We could have Indomitable, sounds fun. Valor, Insight, Progress, Celerity, and then we have Foundation, which is huge. I'm an engineer. I think any could work. I like Celerity because Celerity is a fast courier frame perfect for carrying messages, zipping through space, and smuggling goods. And I like the layout for it. Let's go with Celerity. What should I call the ship? I'm gonna call the ship Vesper, and the ship frame is Celerity. The computers are D4, engines D10. Okay. The hull is D6. Sensors are D8. Supplies are D6, and weapons are D6. After you've picked your frame, roll twice on the ship upgrade table to determine your ship's past upgrades. This helps communicate how the history of your ship has an ongoing impact on its current application and performance. Okay, so we can roll twice on the ship upgrades table. Okay, so let's roll twice. So first one, it has armor plating. Okay, we can raise the hull by 1 die. Nice. Okay, the hull goes up to D8. Okay, rolled an 8, so barely functional. No! Darn it. Your ship rolls twice on the ship damage table. Oh my god. That is rough. Wow. It's a rough history. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I'm scarred. I started with 1 despair already, and my ship is barely functional. What the hell did we go through? How's this an upgrade though? 7 and 8 of that table are bad, but they're in the ship upgrades. I don't get how it's an upgrade, but hey, we're gonna roll with it. So your ship has 4 resources, each with 8 circles. So, okay, we got rations, fuel, shields, and structure. As you traverse the galaxy, these resources will be consumed. They can be refilled or replenished when you find resources on planets. As situations occur, you will check off resources. This indicates you have consumed those resources. When you find more while exploring, you will uncheck it. Spread out however you want. So basically, the core rules of this game is there are tiers of success. So you make a check to see how something challenging will play out. And then you roll on the risk table to determine any potential risk. The game says when to make checks or rolls, so you determine how to overcome the obstacle and what attribute or gear you use when the game does not tell you. Then make the check. So on a 1 to 2, complete failure. and something wrong happens. You roll both on the complication and the cost table. On a 3 to 4, you succeed, but at a cost. So you roll only on the cost table, and then on anything on a 5 or higher, you succeed. The higher the result, the better the effect. So if I have a D4 in something, like the highest I can roll is a 4, so it'll always be at a cost. So it's always risky to roll a D4. And surviving is hard. Every roll reduces the rating of the attribute. So if I do have a D12, I roll, it goes down anyway. It's not like it goes down only if you fail or get a partial success. But to reset all your attributes, you just take time to catch your breath. But even catching your breath is tough. So you must roll on the complication table and check a despair. Can you get rid of despair, or does it just build up, Oh, actually. Oh, I read this as 12, 4, 8, 12. It's actually 5, 10, 15. So there are 15, except for when you get to the end of a track, it looks like there is an echo. And I guess we'll see what happens when I get to it. Despair and hope are the paths to the end of the narrative in Cyanstarlight. Okay, oh, there's hope as well. It's not all despair. Okay. Then you gain an insight. When you check your 15th despair, you roll on the endings table. Every time you find an insight when exploring an archive, you may check 1 hope. After all 5 hope boxes in a row are checked, roll on the insights table. Okay, then you gain an insight. Okay. And then all the tables are in the back of the book. This book is not really, there's not many pages to it, but I like that it has a little ribbon. I think all solo games, especially with the whole bunch of tables, should have a ribbon or 2, actually. Oh, endings, insight table. Okay, cool. Okay, so because I rolled barely functional, my ship rolls twice on the ship damage table. So I have to roll on that damage table before I even begin the journey. That's funny. That ship has been through some stuff. It has some deep-seated issues. Okay, so I'm going to treat there's a risky situation, perilous situation, as the immediate cost I have to pay before setting out. So we're going to refer to the cost table here and go from there. So I'm going to roll, it's 2d6. The higher the better. Okay, 10. No additional effect. It is a perilous. Let's see. Okay, let's roll the second 2d6. And that is a 5. Okay, so 10 means perilous, so I do make a check. On the cost table, a 10 is check 1 resource. And so I'm going to check 1. I'm going to say structure. 1 structure is filled for the ship already. And then the second roll was a 5, so that was a risky another check. And then on the cost table, check 1 resource. So I have armor plating. So checking structure, I think represents the barely functional nature of the welding that was put in. So I'm going to do structure, and then I'm going to do shields. Those are the 2 that are checked off before I even start. Yay. Okay, so now that the Vesper is mostly ready, it is time to head into the void. Step 1. So we are flight. So we are traveling to a new location. Okay, let's get out of here. As the last human survivor, the most essential task you have is uncovering the mystery of the Cyanstarlight. To do that, you will explore space and try to find archives and sites from humanity's past. And they will allow us to piece together clues and try to figure out what occurred and how I can either overcome it and perhaps even solve it. But time is of the essence. Humanity was not meant to be as alone as you are, and already the bulkheads are closing in, of course, and already my ship has been through a lot. Okay, so let's go through these protocols. Step 1, flight. First, we travel to our new location. As I said, roll on the flight table to determine the risk level of the flight path. This is called a flight roll. So let's do it. Okay, so as usual, we're gonna roll 2d6 and for the flight path and see how that goes. Okay, so that is an 8. So it is potentially dangerous. If a flight is potentially dangerous, you must make a risky engines attribute check. So what that looks like is, the Vesper, it groans as I push its engines. It's kind of protesting, the strain. Already has like a semi-compromised structure, the flickering shields. And because the flight path is potentially dangerous, I'll make that risky engines check. So I'm going to roll my engines die, which for the celerity, engines is a D10. And regardless of the result, the engine die steps down to a D8. So it is now going to be at a D8, which I will mark down. But let's roll that D10 and let's see. Okay, 7. Yes, that is a success. Navigate the hazards smoothly. Okay, so we've made that engines roll. Next is the scan. After your flight path ends in your new location, you must scan that arrival point to see what is there. We have made it somewhere, everybody. So now make a risky sensors attribute check. And so my sensors is a D8. And then we'll roll on the scan table to determine what you find, and then roll on the location table. Okay, so roll a risky sensors check. That is going to be the D8. That is a 2. That is a 2, everybody. That is complete failure. Uh-oh. Okay. Also the sensor, because I just did use sensor, so sensors go down to D6 as well. But I rolled a 2. So I have to roll both on the complication table and the cost table. So complication, let's see what the complication is. That's a 4. The physical environment shifts either to your benefit or detriment. Okay. I'm going to see what it all means narratively, but I'm going to roll first, and then I'm going to roll 2d6 for the cost table. And it was for a risky situation, not perilous. So that's fine. Okay, it's an 8. I check 1 resource. And I'm flying, so I'm going to say fuel. It takes up fuel, for sure. Okay, so, this could mean, a sudden solar flare, or, there's a debris field that has appeared. It's making our current position, more dangerous. And I've checked off the 1 fuel, but, despite the failure, we still find a location, but I need to roll for that to see what we get. All right, so roll on the scan table to determine what you find on this location. Roll once on each column and combine. So once on each column. There are 2 columns that I'm going to roll on. So I'm rolling 2d10 on this table. It says you find but. There's 1 column that says you find, the other one is but. So let's see. We find, okay, 11, nothing. I rolled an 11, nothing but, again, 10. But lucky resource cache. Yay! I'll take it. We find nothing but lucky resource cache. Okay. So we scanned. That was a scan table. And then you roll in the location table to determine the basic details and danger level of this location. So we found nothing here. There's a lucky resource cache though. And then we're going to roll on the location type. That is 3d8. What is this? What is the location type? Where are we? I'm going to roll 3d8 all at once. Okay. So we got 8, 8, and 1. Okay, so it is a gas standard. Like, the dominant environment is gas. It's very noxious here. And the danger level is standard. Okay. Is it occupied? Yes. It is absolutely occupied. Okay. Who is here? Or what is here, right? Hey, I'm not alone. There's people here, even if they want to hurt me. Okay. Okay, so, then I'm going to roll on the occupied table. If a table says there's a 50% chance it's occupied. Okay, well, I did roll. There's no 50% chance. It's just a yes or no. So, it is occupied. But by who? Okay. I'm going to roll 2 more d8. Uh-oh, I rolled twice. I'm going to go with the first roll. The first roll, I rolled a 4 and a 6. So, it is occupied by faceless hunters and nothing else. Okay. faceless hunters. Maybe, they're wearing masks or something like that. Now, I didn't roll for unoccupied because the game says if you did, there's a 50% chance there's resources there. But I did roll lucky resource, so I got that. Yeah. And then, since there's nothing here, I know I could roll in the archive and site table and resources and stuff like that. I did roll that there's nothing here. It's like this gas, noxious environment, occupied by faceless hunters. Do I have to deal with these hunters though? Okay, step 3 does say disembark. Oh my god. Okay, maybe I do have to deal with them. You must now decide if you want to disembark, leaving your ship to explore the location to see what you can obtain. Or if you want to press forward the task at hand and miss this location. If you disembark, you must contend with the task in front of you. Check 1 resource box and go to step 4, planet side. If you press forward, check 1 resource box and then return to step 1, flight. It does say, look, if the location is occupied, you must bypass any foes that stand in your way. Yeah, why not? Let's disembark. We're trying to find people. Can we make friends, join our ship? We're all alone, could use a buddy. Okay, so we have this lucky resource cache, but we do have to deal with those faceless hunters. So we are going to disembark. So we have to check 1 ship resource box. We'll say, yeah, we're using up fuel. There we go. Okay, so this is there is the faceless hunters. So let's see, is there like found them. Faceless hunter. There's like some info about them. Okay, faceless hunters. They are strange, star-faring scavengers. The faceless hunters range across the planets, taking resources for themselves. They're bound by a strange code of the hunt. The faceless hunters are honorable if you can decipher their unique culture and ways. Okay. When you first encounter a faceless hunter, it is advisable to proceed cautiously, attempting to discern what drives them. Yeah, I would like to, hopefully it's not anything bad. If I roll a 6, it says they're looking for you. Run. Oh god. So we're gonna roll 1d6 and hope that I do not get a 6. Come on. Yes. I rolled a 2. This faceless hunter searches for the great check enemy they could bring down. You are safe from them unless you act aggressively. Okay, cool. I'm not going to act aggressively. Of course not. The code they abide by. Let's see. 2 again. They may only attack their prey after their prey attacks. So, okay. That is the code of the hunt. You know what? Stay out of their way. They stay out of your way. I like it. So we did manage to bypass them. We don't want to fight them. They have a grouping of when they are relentless. They have a special attack. They have a special ability. But now we've learned about them. Okay, so if we do encounter them again, we just stay out of their way. So a lucky resource cache is a significant find. So that sounds fun. So I'm gonna roll 2d10 on the resources table. To see what I discover. Higher the better. 14. Let's go. I find 3 resources. You find 3 resources. Roll once on each column and combine. So I find 3 resources, but do I need to roll the butt? Because, it was a lucky find. Right? Okay, that was a 14. But this game is interesting. It's like every single move you make, there's something that's degrading, or you're checking resources. Like everything costs something, which I find pretty interesting. So the faceless hunters, they drift by. They recognize me non-threat. I have not acted aggressively, but they are watching. So I find 3 resources. Maybe I find, this is a gas giant. Perhaps I find a derelict refueling pod. So I will uncheck 3. I'm gonna say I find some fuel here. So I'm unchecking 2 of the fuel and something to help with my structure, or maybe my shields. Okay. I find some heavy plating, you know, and so I'm able to reinforce my shields a little bit more. 3 resources back. Nice. Or replenished. So even though the hunters aren't attacking, the environment itself is a challenge. So I have to overcome one more final obstacle to safely secure these resources and return to the Vesper. So step 1 was flight. We did the scan, we disembarked, and we are now planet side. But at any point we can retreat. Roll on the retreat table. Otherwise, if you have obtained your reward, then you can return to step 1, which is flight. So one final, if there are obstacles at the location, you must overcome them. Are there obstacles? Did I roll for obstacles? I know there's a danger level. I guess maybe it's just like a general like planetary obstacle. So I'm going to roll 1d6 and see. Okay, so there's an obstacle here. I guess it's more, you know, more narrative. What could an obstacle be in this gas giant location? I'm going to say there's some type of like, I'm good at engineering. I noticed that there's a heavy bulkhead that is jammed. And so I'm trying to bash. Okay. Just one last push, but my bash is a D10. It will automatically go down to a D8 once I use it. Okay. So let's roll that D10 as we are trying to bash this, this bulkhead that is stuck. It's kind of like in our way. Higher the better. 6. Yes. Remember, 5 plus is a success. But now bash is at a D8. Okay, so we have successfully forced our way through a jammed bulkhead. We secured the resources and we make it back to the Vesper just as we see the hunter's ship begin to fade back into the thick mists of the gas giant. And as per the rules, the bash goes down to a D8. Okay. So we scramble back into the Vesper, slam the airlock shut just as the atmospheric pressure begins to peak outside. The faceless hunters are still there watching me. They didn't move. They just let me take what I needed. I don't know if that is respect or pity for the last of a dead race, but who knows? Either way, the Vesper's tanks are fuller than they've been in weeks. It's time to get out of this place. So we are back on our ship and we're ready for the next jump. Let's do another one. So then you go back. That is like the main 4 steps. And then in the, that seems pretty easy to follow. So we will go back to step 1, which is the flight check. And then it seems like kind of everything that you do depends on the roll. So if it's a bad roll, then you lose resources, or you gain resources, or you get in a fight. Something's always getting checked, which is interesting. So the game's always kind of moving based on your role, and just based on the world. Like the world is always moving. That's why I really like this mechanic of the die size decreasing or increasing, things like that. So I don't need to catch a breath just yet. So we're going back to the flight table and we are going to determine the risk of the flight path. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a 2d6 and see what it is. The flight path is, okay, that is a 9. A 9 is potentially dangerous again. Okay, you must make a risky engines attribute check. So risky engines. So engines is D8. So I think I'm understanding now. So if I go to risky engines, I think it's the cost table that I'm looking at. Okay, so let's roll. We're rolling a D8 for the engine. Ooh, that is a 3. So success at a cost. So we're going to roll on the cost table. And my engine die goes down to a D6. So the more you play, the more you roll your attribute checks, the riskier the rolls get, the more dangerous the world gets. So I rolled a 3, success at a cost. And, okay, so now I'm going to roll 2d6 on the cost table to see what I get. And it was risky, it wasn't perilous, so we'll see how that goes. The higher, the better, of course. Oh, no. Okay, so risky, I checked 2 resources. I think what I'm gonna check is, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna check fuel and I'm gonna check structure. So, I think I could, I'm flying and I can hear like the hull plates are groaning under the pressure. And for a second, the lights on the bridge flicker out entirely. We're here. The structure is taking a hit though. There's like a smell of, insulation that's like maybe scorched or burning. Got a little burnt. But I got us to the destination. I need to see what's going on. So even with the ship smoky, we need to know what's outside. What do we see? So step 2, once again, step 2 is scan. After your flight path ends in your new location, we're making a risky sensors attribute check. Sensors is at a D6. So let's do that. Okay, that is a 5. Okay, so risky sensors. Oh, that's a success. Okay, but now it goes down to D4. Oh no. Okay, so now we are going to scan and see what we find. So 2D10, so it's you find, but. Okay, that is an 11. So we find, oh god, nothing again. Oh, accidental roll. Okay, so nothing again, but there is a 50% chance it is occupied. I'm gonna roll 2d8 to see what kind of location it is. Okay, so that is a 4 and a 3. So it is urbanized and the danger level is risky. Urbanized and risky. Okay, so we're gonna roll a d6. A 1 to 3 mean that it's occupied. A 4 to 6 means that it's empty. Okay, so it is a 3. It is occupied. Okay, so discovery we scanned was a 5, so it is a result of 5. Let me go back to the scan table, double check, because I know that we rolled no, not a 5. I got a 5 on the scan check or some check. I got a 5 and it was a success. But I rolled a 12, which is fun, nothing. So in this game there's a good chance you'll find nothing. Like a 7 to 18 is nothing on the first column. Okay, so it is an urbanized area. There's nothing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this play session here and potentially come back and explore some more at another time. This game is interesting, but I think you need a little bit more time to like lose resources, fight some people. Like I still only checked, I know, only have 1 despair, so I'm not too worried. Hope and despair haven't come into place. I haven't checked any stress, so I really haven't fully explored the game as much as I would like. I've been rolling for the ship most of the time. Haven't really done like my personal dice rolling here for the character. I've been on the ship sheet a lot and checking resources, unchecking them. But I think I want at least 1 or 2 more sessions to like start getting some despair or hope checked off and stress and using a med kit or my repair kit, getting into more situations. But for this specific location, which is urbanized, but there is nothing here, so I'm going to keep going, and hopefully when I come back and search more locations, I'll find some archive sites, get some more clues, all of that good stuff. But that is where we're going to end this play session for Cyanstarlight for my character Shiloh Damaritz. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening if you did, and I will see you in the next one.